right, so I'm hoping you're enjoying the videos that I posted that are the videos that I posted on here, and then this is the live, this is just a bonus because I want to address your upper back tightness. So the upper back is interesting because you have one set of muscles that goes this way. In between the shoulder blades, the muscles go this way, but then your traps, which come into your neck, go this way. And then you also have your vertebrae muscles, which are smaller and connect each vertebrae to vertebrae. Kind of think more like a pine tree kind of connection. Anyway, that's how I can figure out what's injured, is because which way the muscle fibers go, so which way you feel it. So Andrea did make a really good point that she's not trying to accumulate more stuff, and I have all this stuff, so I totally agree with it. So I'm not trying to sell you guys on any more, but give you the idea of what can you get. So I'm big on Yamuna, but there is the Miracle Ball, which this is gonna say it backwards because last time when I flipped it so you could read it, my head was out of view. It's the Miracle Ball method. So these are a little squishier. I don't know if you can see, this one swishes easier. So this was $20 for a kit, and then you had to get a book about it. And so it's a little bit better than the $32, but honestly, these black balls just are so much, a little harder and then just a little better. A grocery store ball, you know, those balls that are about this size, maybe a little bigger. I just don't know the weight that it might pop, and don't be offended if you pop it, but this is weighted for heavy people. She goes to football players and basketball players. She's hysterical. She's in New York City and gets these big guys to do this release stuff. In the third week, I'm going to talk more about fascia, but what I'm trying to do this week is get you moving, Pilates stability. Next week, I'm gonna get you moving with more weights, so then if you want more of a gym routine or circuit, you'll have that. And then the third week, I'm really gonna try to explain the whys you're doing things, so that way you're more empowered on what you're doing. Because sometimes it's also just the argument of what you're doing. All of this stuff comes from people being injured, and usually they're ligaments and tendons. So then if your hips hurt, your shoulders hurt, your back hurt, that's why these have been invented. All right, I'm gonna do upper back today because a lot of people have neck issues, and it can a lot come from the back. And where do we slouch from? Except the upper spine. So I'm gonna say the silver ball. If you have the black ball, really any of these balls would be good. I also just did this on the mat that I was trying to think of, if you lifted your hips up and kind of just moved your shoulder blades away from each other and kind of wiggled around and pulled yourself up and down. Also, lifting your head up might kind of get you back in this area, and you could kind of play around. I don't know why I feel like it's interpretive dancing, and then you can roll on the ground. You might need a yoga mat. You probably can't do it on a bed. But anyway, so if you were to have a ball, you could sit on it, all of your weight in it. Trust me, I've put all weights on here, and you can shift side to side of your spine, and you can start to address your lower back, and then sink down, and then side to side. Now what also feels good is then you can also do abdominals here, coming up and down, and the lower down on the back, the harder it would be, and then your shirt may get stuck. And then the higher up, the easier it gets. But then about here, people start to feel their back pop and release. So this is the base of the trap. See how it's, if I had a bra strap on, I mean, I do have a bra, but that's where my bra strap would be. And then here, I can keep my hips lifted and use my butt and then sink down. Elbows away from each other moves the shoulder blades differently than if the elbows are in towards each other. And then if you do some side to side bends, you can really start to get the rhomboids and in between the shoulder blades. And then come up a little higher and then do little side to side bend here. Now, if you have a neck condition and you haven't been diagnosed yet, I would hesitate coming up into your neck, because if you have a disc issue and then you move your vertebrae, it's a little over my scope of practice, so it's better to have an x-ray to have your doctor be definitive. But if you just lead up to here and this all feels good, then really start to work it around. Bring your elbows in even more, and then really just shift up and down, coming around. Yeah, and that's going to allow there. So the biggest thing I see when people have this forward head, it comes from around this part of the back, because I'll actually poke my fingers into someone when they're in a bad position and then have them come up, and that knot typically goes away. The other big thing is that knot you can't quite get in the back that a lot of people use like a hard ball with. It's actually, you can get it from the chest. So if you lie down on here, you could either be against the wall too, but if you lie face down on the ball and come here and really get into there, you actually feel your back release. So whatever I just did with the ball, you can do with the roller. So if you happen to have a hard roller, this is great. Come and use this. You could try a water bottle, a frozen water bottle. If it's not frozen, just beware of the pressure and if it's gonna pop off. So you can kind of dig around here, coming up and down. Then the other way you can release is putting the roller this way. Just be careful that the balance. You know, so then you can bring your arms out, come side to side. Some people, the more up they bring their arms, the more they start to feel these knots. You can always lift your hips up and have your head hang off. And I'm just getting all of the shoulder blade, because that's a lot of the rotator cuff muscles connect to the shoulder blade. The back muscles connect to the shoulder blade. Not quite the shoulder blade, but they go over. And muscles all connect to each other. They're not just separate layers of muscle. They're actually more like clay sculpted on top of each other. So they are connected, and so you can, that's what trigger points are, is when like one muscle's going this way and one muscle's going that way and another muscle's coming this way, and then they kind of get bundled together, and then that's that trigger point that we release, either going along the muscle fiber or against the muscle fiber. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any more questions, I'm gonna keep posting videos throughout the 3 weeks because I love this stuff. All right, hope you're enjoying it too and love it just as much. Have a great day.